guys and fellow lovers of the cubic world, welcome back to another Redstone video with me, Giorgio. And yeah, as you probably already know, I've been playing with shulker boxes lately, especially with shulker box loaders. For example, this one, and that one over there, all one white tileable. Well, I've been working with them because that's what most people need usually, but it seems like people also need shulker box unloaders. That's right, people need one white shulker box unloaders, and believe me, they are hard to come up with. Yeah, I designed one finally, but it took me like 2 days to come up with a reliable design. Well, here it is. It's certainly a bit more expensive than those ones, maybe except for that one, but I doubt it. Yeah, here are the materials that you need for the basic module. It's 2 barrels for blocks. They have to be solid blocks. Oh well, actually, 3 of them have to be solid blocks. One of them can be transparent block. This one. Uh, then you need 1 dispenser, 1 dropper, 3 hoppers, 9 observers. That's the expensive part. 2 redstone comparators, 1 repeater, 1 redstone torch, and 2 pistons. A sticky one and a normal one. To build it, well, it's actually quite easy. You can already see it here, but since it's a bit confusing, let's start. First of all, you have to place a repeater on 2 ticks with a barrel behind it. It has to be a barrel. That's where all the items will end up, and I'll explain to you how to extend this storage in a moment. Then you place a sticky piston facing to the barrel, but 1 block behind, I guess, or offset. Actually, it has to be 2 blocks, because else way it won't be able to push. It's easier if you place a temporary block and then the piston. Then an observer facing to the barrel just behind it. Then we're gonna place another barrel or second barrel right there. We'll need a temporary block and then a hopper pointing into it. On top of that hopper, we're gonna place a redstone comparator facing that way and a block in front of it. This block with a redstone torch, just like so. As you can see, the redstone torch will power this piston. Then on top of this comparator, we're gonna place a block, and right next to the block, we're gonna place a dispenser facing down. On top of the dispenser, a dropper also goes facing down, just like so. And on top of the dropper, the hopper that will feed both of them with loaded shulker boxes. Then we're gonna place an observer right next to the dropper, just like so, facing downward, and an observer reading that hopper, just like so. Then we're gonna place a block right next to the dropper, and in front of the actually first we're gonna place an observer facing into the dispenser and an observer facing upward, just like so. On top of that observer and next to this block, we're gonna place another comparator facing the opposite way of the other one, so that way. Then we're gonna place an observer on top of it, reading the comparator, and an observer reading that observer and facing into that hopper. Next thing we need is an observer on top of this repeater, reading it, of course, and finally a piston right there. It has to be a normal piston. The last block that we need to place is an observer right behind that piston, and the whole mechanism is done. The way it works, well, it's actually quite complicated, so let me see if I can explain it to you real quick. So we're gonna grab a shulker box and we're gonna load it with items, just like so. So the shulker boxes are gonna come into this hopper. You can connect it to whatever device or line of hoppers or water stream that you want. And this hopper is gonna feed this dropper. Now, when it feeds the dropper, this comparator is gonna detect the shulker box. That a shulker box just came in, and it's gonna send an update to this observer, and then to this one, then to this one, then to this one, and this one is gonna fire this dropper, which will send the shulker box to the dispenser, and finally this one will fire the dispenser so that the shulker box is placed in here. Then the shulker box is gonna start unloading into this barrel via this hopper. If you want to place to conduct your storage or your items to other place, You can do it by just placing a hopper below this barrel, and as you can see, it's gonna suck the items. Since it's a one tileable, what you can actually do is, instead of having that hopper over there or facing that way, you can have it facing this way and have a line of hoppers that way, and place the repeater on top of those. As you can see, the items are still gonna come into this barrel. Let's break that. Next thing that happens is that this comparator is gonna read how full the shulker box is, and whenever it has items, it's gonna turn off this redstone torch, which will retract this sticky piston alongside with this observer. Once it's empty, the comparator will turn off, and this redstone torch will do as well. Will turn on, and then the sticky piston will extend with the observer again, and it's gonna send a pulse through this barrel to the repeater, uh, which will create an update for this observer to fire this piston. Now we will have it at 2 ticks because this piston requires that exact amount of time for it to actually push the shulker box into this barrel. You see, all the shulker box will end in this barrel. If you want to extend that storage, you can actually do it by just placing another line of hoppers right like so. And yeah, when the shulker box ends here, it's gonna come out all the way to here. Now bear in mind that this block it's unpowered most of the time, but the redstone torch isn't. So the shulker boxes are gonna be stuck in this hopper. Once this comparator receives another signal from the next shulker box, it's gonna power this block, which means that the shulker boxes will be stuck in here, but this torch is gonna unpower. So this shulker box is gonna advance to the next hopper and to whatever storage you have on that side. So yeah, slowly but steadily, your shulkers are gonna advance if you want to. Next thing that happens, what is it? Oh yeah, no, that's basically it. The piston breaks the shulker box. It sends it to there, and the next triggering is read by this observer, sending an update to this one and an update to this one, and the dispenser dispenses another shulker box in place. I know, quite complicated, but it works. And if you want to stack more of them, well, like stack one another together, here it is the system that you can use. Now you see, I have already prepared some shulker boxes with 32 grass blocks inside of each of them, and I think this is empty. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna grab them with Control middle click. That way they keep their MPT information, as you can see. And we're gonna fill the hoppers in this order. Actually, I I filled them the wrong color, but it's alright. And finally, these two, I'm gonna do them in order. So we can see that all the shulker boxes have been dispensed and they're unloading. And yeah, in the exact order that we toss them in, they're gonna come out. They're gonna be popped up by the pistons, and they're gonna end up in these barrels. Pretty cool. If we had more shulker boxes in the system, of course, after those popped out, the new shulker boxes will be dispensed. Here behind we can find the items, all of them 32 grass blocks. If you want to see in action, I have prepared also this one with 5 shulker boxes, so we can see each of them after the other. So we're gonna wait for them to unload. Actually, I should have placed less items, but there we go. The first one is off. It ends up here, and then the next one is dispensed. That will happen with all 5 of them. And that was the last shulker box. As you can see, all 5 shulker boxes end up in this barrel, and all the items ended up here. 32 times 5 is 2 stacks and 32. So that's it, guys. That's the shulker box unloader. Well, one white tileable shulker box unloader. Pretty long names. Anyways, guys, if you like it, please, you know what to do. Also consider subscribing if you find it useful. And yeah, if you are gonna use it though, please remember to give me credit. I'm GiorgioJGZ. you know my name. Anyways, guys, I hope you did like it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.